Edge got to take his rated R superstar trademark to AEW, but somehow his new name still sucks. Adam Copeland made his return at World's End, but unlike David Bix's dating life, he didn't come alone. Edge was flanked by AEW tag team bots FTR and a new nickname, Cope. Edge going from Adam Copeland to Cope marks a return to a monosyllabic name and another legacy compromised by AEW. But because his name used to be Edge, Cope is too easy to compare to Edge, and as a result, the Rotten Tomatoes score for Cope is stupid low. First, Edge destroyed his ankle under AEW's watch, and now they're going after his namesake. Today, we're going to talk about Edge's new nickname, the ensuing backlash, and why he may drop it altogether by the end of the year, if not by the end of the month. Subscribe in Swahili.
What's good? Come get your free PWB sticker. You can stick me on your smartphone so I can listen to all your conversations like the government. But I won't tell anyone. I'll just judge quietly. I'm a healthy adhesive. Just post me on a MacBook because apples are delicious. We can even stick it to the man and jump on a cop car together. Whee! Because, hey, where are you going, you selfish son of a... Is that all you got, you hoe-ass pigs?
Get your free stickers by clicking the link in the description. Edge is no stranger to crazy-ass nicknames. He's been Damon Striker. He's been Sexton Hardcastle, Adam Impact, Conquistador Uno, and now he's just Cope. If there's one word to describe Dax Harwood on Twitter, it's Cope. Because when it comes to standing up for AEW, FTR Bald is the Pope. Still, that doesn't mean Edge has to be the poster boy for it. Before transitioning to Cope, Edge foreshadowed the name change in an interview with Renee Paquette.
I'm trying to, little by little, segue it to Cope.
Yes, the Cope Open.
Just Cope.
Yeah, Cope.
You know?
Cope's name change wasn't a hasty decision. It was thought out ahead of time, proving even bad ideas can be planned out well in advance. The Shockmaster will tell you that. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Shockmaster is a better name than Cope. If Shockmaster didn't fall on his ass during his debut, who knows? We might be in an alternate universe where the Shockmaster is descending from the rafters and beating up NWO. When Adam Copeland originally named himself Edge, it was a spur-of-the-moment decision. He didn't really overthink it. In his book On the Edge, Cope wrote that he had trouble coming up with a ring name. He floated a few ideas to creative, but they all got turned down. They countered with a few of the typical shitty WWE names. But on his way to a WWE town, he heard a radio station called The Edge, and the rest is Canadian history. Unfortunately, Cope's new name has received mixed and negative reactions online. Justin Roberts, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Rated R superstar, Cope. Wrestling fans around the world still calling him Edge. Not as edgy as Adam Copeland, but I guess everyone will have to cope with it. Thumbs down. Has a nice edge to it. This is terrible. This has meme potential. Cope is awful. WTF, should have just stayed Adam Copeland. But that's just the internet. And if Tony Khan booking for social media has taught us anything, it's that Twitter is an unreliable scope of how many fans feel in real life. Unfortunately for Cope, reaction to his nickname among his own peers are even worse. AEW World Champion Jon Moxley can barely say it one time with a straight face before going back to calling him Adam Copeland. Chris Jericho decided to rhyme Edge's new name by saying Cope is a dope. Worst of all, in a sign of things to come, Nigel McGuinness tried to find as many words as possible that rhymed with Cope. This is while he was on commentary at his day job. When Nigel finally said nope, he popped himself, and both Nigel and Tony Schiavone had to mute their mics to laugh. Because that's what Edge's legacy has come down to right now. Nobody can take him seriously as Cope. Despite being the inevitable #1 contender for the AEW World title, Cope is a joke. AEW doesn't really have a writing team, and if they do, that's even more depressing for the promotion. Everybody gets to just do what they want, and with no quality controls, Cope is opening himself up to some of the most unserious promos about his name. Just the other night on Collision, Big Bill was all like, "You shorten your name, now I'm about to shorten your career." How? Cope is 51 years old. He's been wrestling for 23 years. That's impossible. If you're 51 and still wrestling, one can argue your career has gone on maybe a few years too long. Big Bill wasn't even trying to be funny and the promo was unserious. There's going to be so many smart-ass promos about Adam Copeland's new name. Will Cope come locked and loaded with quick comebacks like he did with Ricky Starks? For his sake? I hope.
Don't look at me like that with those bug eyes, sir. I'm talking to this guy.
It's your stupid silk slacks, dumbass.
Yeah, well, from the other place, but either way.
And you took it from The Rock. Good
Either
job.
way.
Edge's legacy is fully intact. He will always be a legend. A name change won't tear it all down, but it will be a distraction, which Edge can ill afford, especially this early into his comeback, especially when he's getting ready to challenge for a world title. The Whitepool Combat Club has had its own problems being taken seriously as a heel stable. Throw in an AEW savior named Cope, and this wrestling angle becomes catnip for wrestling memes. AEW hasn't really struggled with wrestler names. The WCW to WWE, All Elite Wrestling is the more adult-oriented and realistic company. In fact, many of its top stars are independent and international talent who built their brands using their real names. So AEW didn't have to worry too much about rebranding them. Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega, Matt and Nick Jackson, Will Ospreay, Cody Rhodes in the beginning. They even got breaks with trademark names like Samoa Joe, who got to keep his name, as well as CM Punk and Hangman Adam Page. Bobby Lashley's real name is Bobby Lashley, and he even got to keep the Almighty moniker. Same with Shelton Benjamin. Even MVP got to take his trademark to AEW. In fact, people were just fine calling Edge Adam Copeland, especially because he was still the rated R superstar. Come to think of it, AEW was pretty much batting 1,000 when it came to wrestlers changing or keeping their names from other companies. But then they just couldn't leave well enough alone. They couldn't cope with success, so they called Edge Cope, and it's failing. This is reminiscent to Vince McMahon tinkering with wrestler names to the detriment of their careers. This became a long-running trope in WWE. Remember Kerwin White, Shorty G, Butch, Lord Tensai, Max Dupree, Michael McGillicuddy, Mr. America? All right, chill. What's wild about Edge's name change is it's actually the opposite of a Vince McMahon situation. Vince changed names to demonstrate power over stars coming in from different territories, or just because he could. Vince was a micromanager who oversaw every aspect of a wrestler from their name to their sneezing habits.
I was in a meeting once with Vince. And you know you can't sneeze around him either. You got to leave the room because he loses respect for you because you couldn't control the sneeze.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Adam Copeland changed his name because there's no authority or power in AEW. This bad decision was self-inflicted because bad ideas in AEW just slide through undetected like those amateur pilots at the Boston Logan International Airport that one day in September. Anyway, between Twitter, real-life promos, and how in vogue it is to make fun of AEW because everybody wants to be like me but can't, I don't think the Cope era is gonna last very long. Expect a course correction because fans will always be married to the name Edge. When it comes to his new name, it feels more like they eloped. Check out this video and subscribe. Is Cope the worst name change ever? If not, what is? Tell me in the comments!